I know what you do, bro. Why looking like any good? To Kessler in that fight in Denver, it was a close fight. I just laughed. First laugh. And I thought, I'm not losing to Salvador. Remember Captain Brain jumping in the ring, shaking around like that.
And he relishes it, he loves it, he enjoys doing it, and that's what's remarkable about him. You'd think at this stage that he'd think, well, you know, but he doesn't, he absolutely loves it.
Last 20, last 20.
Yes!
10 to go, 10 to go.
Carl Froch is about to absolutely destroy John Fury, and the footage coming out of his training camp proves he's not playing games. While Fury's been running his mouth on social media, Froch has been quietly transforming himself into a wrecking machine. We're talking about a former world champion who's stepping into the gym with the same intensity that made him a legend. This isn't some celebrity boxing exhibition prep. This is a 46-year-old Hall of Froch preparing to embarrass a man who thinks intimidation beats skill. Every combination of throws in sparring carries bad intentions. Every footwork drill is calculated to make Fury look foolish. And here's what's wild: sources inside the camp say Froch is moving better now than he did in some of his championship fights. The Cobra isn't just coming out of retirement, he's coming for blood. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. Froch isn't just training his body, he's weaponizing his mind. This is elite-level psychological warfare disguised as professional preparation. Every video that leaks from his camp is strategically designed to mess with John Fury's head. Think about it. While Fury posts angry rants and throws tantrums on Instagram Live, Froch releases calculated glimpses of pure technical perfection. The message is crystal clear. You can scream all you want, but when that bell rings, skill beats noise every single time. And the boxing world is taking notice. Trainers who have worked with both men are privately saying this won't even be competitive. One legendary coach told me off the record that watching Fury try to fight Froch would be like watching a street brawler step in with Muhammad Ali. It's not just a mismatch, it's potential career suicide for the Fury patriarch.
Fight him! I'm a fighting man! Any man born from his mother, I'll fight him! Over 50 years old, on the hard road, in the ring, in the pub, in the back of a gypsy caravan site. You're not a fighting man, because I'll have a fight with you. I'll fight you for a five.
Now listen to this part, because the body sparring footage reveals something terrifying. Froch is specifically conditioning himself to absorb punishment while maintaining offensive pressure. That's not random training. That's targeted preparation for John Fury's wild, windmill-style aggression. Froch knows exactly what's coming. He's preparing for a man who fights with raw emotion instead of technique. Every body shot he takes in sparring is preparing him to walk through Fury's power and deliver devastating counters. His sparring partners are throwing everything they have at his midsection, and Froch is eating the shots like they're jabs. The conditioning work is next-level brutal. We're talking about a 46-year-old man pushing his body to limits that would break fighters half his age. And you know what the craziest part is? He's enjoying it. Sources say Froch lights up during the hardest sessions, like he's feeding off the punishment and transforming it into fuel for what's coming.
Don't get lazy with that jab. Don't get lazy, you miss it. You miss it. You miss it. Woo.
Hold up, because the psychological warfare is reaching absolutely ridiculous levels. Every single thing Froch does in training is sending a message to John Fury, and Fury is too emotional to see the trap being set. While Fury responds with angry social media posts and public confrontations, Froch responds with technical perfection and championship-level preparation. It's like watching a master chess player toy with someone who's still learning checkers. The atmosphere around this potential fight has become electric, but not in the way most people think. This isn't building toward a competitive showdown between two warriors. This is building toward a public execution disguised as a boxing match. Industry insiders are already whispering that someone needs to talk John Fury out of this before he embarrasses himself and damages the Fury family name permanently. But here's the kicker: Fury's pride won't let him back down, even though every smart person around him knows this ends badly.
Finish with the hook and then box him on.
Yeah. Do you know what?
No, 1-2, 1-2 hook and then defense.
And get this, John Fury actually thinks his old-school mentality gives him an advantage. The man is out here talking about raw fighting spirit and warrior identity like those things matter against a Hall of Fame boxer with world-class technique. Fury keeps pushing this narrative that boxing isn't about skill, it's about heart and toughness. That's exactly the kind of thinking that gets fighters seriously hurt. You know what happens when heart meets technical perfection? Heart gets knocked unconscious. Fury's embracing this tough guy image because it's all he has. He can't talk about championship experience because he doesn't have any. He can't discuss technical advantages because Froch destroys him in every category. So he falls back on intimidation and pride, which is like bringing a knife to a gunfight. The most dangerous part? Fury actually believes his own hype. He's convinced himself that being loud and aggressive translates to fighting ability. That delusion is going to get him hurt.
I'm not an actor. You know, I'm not a gentleman or I'd be relation to gentry round here or in England, but I'm not. I'm just a...
But wait, it gets worse. John Fury is 56 years old and thinks heavy bag work makes him ready for a world champion. The footage of him training is honestly painful to watch if you understand boxing. Sure, he's throwing punches with aggression, but there's zero technique behind the power. His footwork is non-existent. His defensive positioning is amateur level. His combination work looks like someone who learned boxing from watching movies. Meanwhile, Froch is drilling the same combinations that knocked out elite-level professionals. The gap in class isn't just obvious, it's dangerous. Boxing coaches who have seen both men work are genuinely concerned about Fury's safety. One trainer told me that putting Fury in with Froch would be like feeding him to a shark. The age factor makes it even worse. At 56, Fury's reflexes are shot, his recovery time is slower, and his chin can't take the punishment it might have handled 20 years ago. But his ego won't let him acknowledge reality.
Go on, Big John, put it in, son! Finish him!
Here's the kicker that nobody's talking about. Joe Egan just called out John Fury's entire tough guy persona as complete fake bravado. According to Egan, real fighters prove themselves in regulated competition, not through public confrontations and social media beef. He's basically saying Fury is all show and no substance, which is exactly what everyone in professional boxing already knows. Egan argues that Fury relies on intimidation because he can't compete under real boxing rules. That's a devastating accusation, but it's backed up by facts. Where are John Fury's professional accomplishments? Where's his amateur background? Where's any evidence that he can actually fight beyond pushing people at press conferences? The truth is brutal. John Fury has built his entire reputation on being Tyson and Tommy's father, not on any personal fighting achievements. Now he's about to step in with a legitimate Hall of Famer who earned everything through blood, sweat, and championship-level performances.
I want to watch Froch on fight because I'm quite sure Carl's going to rip the life out of John after today. I think John did a job. John did a job and got the excitement going, got people talking. That's exactly what he...
And listen to this absolutely wild warning from Eddie Hearn. He's suggesting that if John Fury tried his usual intimidation tactics on Carl Froch face-to-face, the results could be extremely dangerous for Fury. Think about what that means coming from a promoter who's seen everything in boxing. Hearn knows that professional fighters are trained to respond instantly to physical threats. Their reflexes are programmed to counter aggression with devastating precision. So when Fury steps up chest to chest trying to intimidate like he does with regular people, He's potentially triggering a response from someone who's knocked out world-class professionals. Froch's hands are registered weapons, and his muscle memory doesn't distinguish between a real threat and theatrical posturing. The scariest part? Froch has that Cobra Strike speed that made him famous. One split-second reaction to Fury's aggression could end this whole thing before it officially starts.
Because he called me a fake and a fraud, fake hard man. I will show him how much of a fake hard man I am. He's the one that's shying away.
Spencer Oliver just dropped some serious insight that should terrify John Fury's supporters. Oliver, who knows both men personally, is leaning heavily toward Froch despite the age factor. He points out that Froch remains physically active at 48 and maintains that championship-level conditioning. But here's what's really telling. Oliver mentions Froch's reputation as the Cobra and his dangerous pressure fighting style. That's not just a cool nickname. That's a description of a fighter who strikes with precision and venom when opponents make mistakes. Oliver also brings up Froch's experience against elite opponents, which is where this becomes a complete mismatch. Froch has been in wars with Mikkel Kessler, Andre Ward, and George Groves, world-class fighters who would destroy John Fury in round 1. If Froch's championship experience gives him an advantage against legitimate professionals, what's it going to do against a 56-year-old man whose biggest win was arguing with security guards?
On Carl Froch, in his space, I think he would chin him immediately.
Really?
Now here's where the psychology gets absolutely fascinating. Adam Smith reveals that Froch's recent comments about the Fury family have genuinely struck a nerve with John Fury. That means Froch is already inside Fury's head, controlling the mental aspect before they even step into a ring. Smith notes that both men appear willing to fight, but Froch's experience and composure would give him a technical edge in any real engagement. This is classic championship-level mind games. Froch knows exactly which buttons to push to make Fury emotional and reckless. An emotional fighter is a defeated fighter, especially against someone with Froch's counterpunching ability. Every angry response from Fury proves that Froch's psychological warfare is working perfectly. By the time they actually compete, Fury will be so worked up and desperate to prove his toughness that he'll walk straight into the traps Froch is setting.
Well, we've just done 2 hours of training. Feeling absolutely fantastic. Cannot wait to fight. Listen, what I'm seeing here.
But here's something most people don't realize about this rivalry. According to Liam Go, this tension between Froch and John Fury isn't new, it's been building for years. Froch has been calling out Fury, and John has been responding, even entertaining the idea of an exhibition match. But notice the difference in their approaches. Froch proposes adding a charitable aspect, bringing professionalism to the conflict. Fury responds with pure emotion and intimidation. That contrast tells you everything about how this plays out. Froch uses calculated strategy and skill. Fury relies on natural aggressiveness that becomes predictable against an experienced fighter. Boxing fans see this as showmanship versus experience, but it's really intelligence versus emotion. And in boxing, intelligence wins every time. The fact that this has been brewing for years means Froch has had plenty of time to study Fury's patterns and plan his destruction accordingly.
At the Furies, probably over his time on his channel, maybe, I'm guessing, and John didn't like that and wants to have a fight with him, something like that.
It was something like that. I don't think he was still necessarily turning down.
And get this wild confrontation that happened at a press conference. Ade Oladipo describes John Fury's direct approach toward Carl Froch, noting how Fury's fiery personality drives him to confront perceived disrespect head-on. But here's what's beautiful about Froch's response. It was measured, professional, and calculating. While Fury acted impulsively for maximum attention, Froch was studying his opponent's behavior and finding weaknesses to exploit. That press conference interaction was like watching a master class in psychological preparation. Fury showed his entire hand. He's emotional, predictable, and easily triggered. Froch revealed nothing except that he's completely comfortable with Fury's intimidation tactics. Analysts who understand boxing recognized that Go was thriving on precision and looking for openings in Fury's overconfidence. The press conference wasn't a confrontation. It was a scouting report delivered in real time.
John Fury was doing that, and Gold and Carl Froch. And I know John Fury doesn't like Carl Froch. Carl Froch mentions him, although I haven't really watched much of Carl Froch's videos lately. Carl Froch, I know, has mentioned John Fury in the past. He's had a go with John Fury. They actually talked about having an actual, was it an exhibition or a boxing type match? And John Fury, the, any man, any time, was saying words to the effect of, oh, I'll fight you, Carl Froch, but the money has to be right. And Carl Froch basically said, all right, well, if we arrange payment, it can go to charity. And
here's where John Fury's emotional connection becomes his biggest weakness. Gareth Davies points out that Fury's intensity comes from his passion for his sons' careers and family pride. That sounds admirable until you realize it makes him completely irrational in combat situations. Fury's confidence comes from emotion rather than technical boxing logic, which is exactly what gets fighters knocked out cold. His willingness to challenge anyone reflects his confrontational personality, but critics are right that such claims are more about public image than professional competition. The most dangerous part? Fury's behavior is driven by emotional motivation instead of strategic planning. Against a technical fighter like Froch, emotions become liabilities. Every angry outburst telegraphs his intentions. Every emotional response reveals his mental state. Froch is going to read Fury like a children's book and respond with championship-level precision.
To get that call. Tyson Fury, I mean, that's jackpot financially. He would love that call. For Fury, it's a chance of becoming a world champion again, which obviously isn't Fury's drive, but I mean, it's a chance to become world champion again. Daniel Dubois, I'd love to see that fight.
But Carl Froch's mindset reveals why this fight is already over. His statement about being willing to face any opponent regardless of age or location reflects the mentality of a former world champion who built his career through relentless pressure and superior skill. When Froch references unconventional fighting environments, he's not just talking trash, he's demonstrating that he's comfortable in any situation. Critics might call it theatrical, but Froch's championship record proves his confidence is backed by genuine technical and physical superiority. He defeated elite-level boxers during his career who would absolutely destroy John Fury. If Froch's aggressive fighting style overwhelmed world-class professionals, imagine what it does to a 56-year-old man whose biggest accomplishment is being related to actual fighters. The gap in class isn't just significant, it's potentially dangerous for Fury's long-term health.
What John does, he's very, very, very passionate around his sons when they're fighting, and it gets something out of him. I spoke to him, right, literally face to face, and I said, well, what is upset? He said, I don't want people calling me out because I'll take any man on. Yeah. You know the
Now here's the most savage part of this entire situation. Boxing commentators are already mocking John Fury's public image, focusing on how he presents himself as a symbol of toughness and masculinity. The criticism is devastating because its accurate Fury's behavior has become theatrical promotion rather than serious boxing credibility. His constant self-promotion has become a subject of ridicule among boxing fans who understand the difference between real fighters and social media personalities. While Fury's supporters believe he represents traditional fighting culture, the truth is brutal. His style relies heavily on public bravado rather than professional achievement. The boxing world sees through the act, and now Fury's about to be exposed on the biggest stage possible. When someone with Froch's legitimate credentials steps across from him, all that tough guy posturing disappears real quick.
Man, any man born from his mother, I'll fight him. Over 50 years old, on the hard road, in the ring, in the pub, in the back of a gypsy caravan site. You're not fighting, man, because I'll have a fight with you. I'll fight you for a fiver.
So here's the bottom line that should terrify anyone betting on John Fury. This debate has divided the boxing world, but the smart money knows exactly how this ends. Froch's Hall of Fame experience, pressure fighting style, and championship mentality would be absolutely overwhelming for someone with Fury's limited skill set. Fury's camp relies on confidence, aggression, and intimidation tactics, but none of those things work against legitimate world-class technique. If this fight happens, it won't just become one of the most talked-about moments in British boxing history. It'll become one of the most one-sided beatdowns ever captured on camera. The real question isn't whether Froch would win. It's whether someone should step in and save John Fury from himself before he suffers permanent damage to both his health and his family's reputation. So drop your prediction in the comments. Do you think Carl Froch ends this in round 1, or does he carry Fury a few rounds just to make him suffer? If this breakdown opened your eyes to what's really about to happen, smash that like button, subscribe for more boxing reality checks, and hit the notification bell because this situation is about to get absolutely brutal. I'll see you in the next one.
Of the king of the world. I think he's referring to Tyson Fury. You know, when you have kids, you know, most people, when they want to talk about their children, they might pull their mobile phone out and show a few pictures. Big John just shows his balls. That's where they came from. If there's anyone who needs a Manscaped advert, it's fucking John Fury.
The tension between Carl